Thank you for staying with us on the conversation live on Lagos television. All things being equal, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu is expected to swear in Tunji Disu as the 23rd Inspector General of Police of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, having ratified his appointment by the Police Council during the week in line with the 1999 Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria as amended. IGP Tunji is coming at a time when Nigeria is facing a lot of security challenges, and all eyes will be on this man to prove his worth and, of course, restore some kind of level of confidence to policing in Nigeria. So this morning, we'll be looking at the new IGP and the challenges ahead of this gentleman. And we have in the studio with us Lukemon Owolabi. Lukemon Owolabi is a public affairs analyst. It's a pleasure to have you.
Pleasure is mine. Good morning.
Okay, looking at the CV of the new IGP, Olatunji Disu, he has served at different formations in different states of the country. And, you know, his core competence is operations. So what kind of policing would you be expecting from this man now that he's going to be sworn in as the 23rd IGP of police?
You see, the distance the distance between the distance
Yeah, come again.
yeah, the distance between insanity and genius is measured only by success. When we talk about the IGP in Nigeria, it's a political position. So most of the time, I always say the IGs are not in charge. They are constrained by what is available to them, because it's a political position. See, when you are a commissioner of police, it's a different ball game. You have a microcosm of a place to manage, and you have the luxury of time because you are reporting only to your principal, the governor. Okay, but when you are the IGP and you have to superintend over 36 states in Nigeria and the Federal Capital Territory, where you are even resident, it's a different ball game. You are reporting to the president, and you have 36 governors pulling you from everywhere, including the minister of FCT, who is the mayor. So most of the time, they don't even have the time to put certain things in place. IGP Disu, when he was the head of RRS, I mean, when he goes around, he called his boys the good boys. And he goes around, you know, he knew the hotspots in Lagos.
Right.
He knew how to maneuver himself there. And when they go all over, around, he has a strategy, you know, to combat crime within that sphere. But it's not the same thing. Even MD Abubakar, when he was commissioner of police in Lagos, remember, he was also going around. He was even arresting policemen, doing all sort of nonsense. Same with Abubakar Sab. You know, he also was doing that. He would go around. He would drive himself. In fact, one of the days that one of the policemen arrested their commissioner, and they didn't even know him.
Right, because he was not in
Yeah, he
uniform.
was not, he was in mufti. So those kind of things, the IG cannot do that. You know, because the IG is bedeviled with political issues. However, what is the job of police? Because I'm looking at what the IG can do that will make him at least excel, more successful than many others. He has to. What is the job of the police? Maintaining law and order and public safety. And how do you do that to maintain law and order and public safety? First, you have to prevent crime. Secondly, you have to enforce the law. And to prevent crime, we have to look at the whole scenario. Do you have the tools? Do you have the wherewithal to prevent crime? How is your intelligence department? What kind of tools are available to you? So most of the time it boils down to money. It boils down to money. Because if you don't have the tools and the facilities to move around, you cannot prevent crime. So you need operational vehicles. You need highly trained men. You need equipment, technological equipment to monitor what is going on there. You need engagement with the community. That's Tunji Disu can do. Is capable of doing that. You can engage the community, and you can also form partnerships. When you form partnerships, you get your intelligence going.
Right.
So he can do that, because he's grounded, well grounded to do all that. That's why I said we look at where he can excel in terms of partnerships and in terms of community engagement.
Yeah.
He will do a lot with that. But in terms of money, he needs more than himself. He needs political will.
Right.
He needs the government, because we are now talking of stemming from section 14, subsection 2B of the Constitution of Nigeria. Security and welfare of the people shall be the primary purpose of government. So it needs to liaise with the government and say, look, policing is not cheap.
Yeah.
If you want, because the country gets the police they deserve. So if you want something to be different, we have to do it differently. They need a lot of funding in the police.
Before we delve into issues around funding and all of that, one of the issues that the police is currently facing is also the issue of trust and the issue of image of the Nigerian police vis-a-vis how the people perceive the police. There is no symbiotic relationship at all between the police and the people. Once you see a policeman, the first thing that comes to your head is, police is not my friend. And usually that is what they actually say, that police should actually be the closest to the people. What should Tunji Disu do to restore that dignity, to bridge that gap between the Nigeria police force and members of the public? Because if there's no trust, if there is no mutual relationship, if you do not even believe that this person wants to protect me, I cannot even speak with this person in the first place. So what does it need to do to give the police a new face or a new image entirely?
Okay, so we're not talking of trust, we are talking of image. And it's that is something that should even come from the police colleges that we have. If you have ever visited any police college in Nigeria, you wonder that, are they training human beings here? So you can now imagine when you have a pigsty as the police college, and there will be graduates from that kind of environment.
Yeah, what kind of behavior would you expect?
So when they come out like that, and you hand over, a rifle to that person, you have just handed over a rifle to a madman.
License to kill.
Exactly. So they will start from training, the police colleges. That's where they get the training from. And then, let's assume that, okay, you have come out of the colleges and you are behaving like someone that is not even well. Someone up there will have to
put you back in place.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So when you come to that kind of situation, this Tunji Disu is a very disciplined officer. He will not condone all those kind of nonsense that many people condone. You can see what he did with the RRS. When a report comes to him, God save your head, you are gone. If you are guilty. When anybody, regardless of who you are gone. So there's a lot of impunity within the police force. And then they also have to look at it holistically. How do these policemen appear to you? Because appearance is reality.
It's also very key.
So it's very key. So when a policeman stops you on the road and you see, a well-kitted, well-trained somebody asking you, saying, "Good morning, sir. We are doing stop and search in this area because of so and so," you won't have any choice.
Right, because you've been given the information.
You won't have any choice but to listen. His approach to you will feel at ease, even with his appearance.
Right.
But sometimes when you see some policemen they approach you, they stop, say park, park.
You even start wondering, are you sure they're really police officers?
Even within yourself, you think you have committed a crime.
Yeah.
When they say park like that, and then it comes to you, and then it's reeking of alcohol, and then the uniform is dirty. It even looks like, sometimes, I don't know how they put people in the police force. There should be certain height.
Yeah, right.
There should be certain height, you know. I mean, I see some policemen and I think they are dwarfs. So I wonder.
How did you even pass into police college?
Through the police college. How did you qualify as a policeman? So all those kind of things, they have to start looking into it. Maybe those ones that are there already, they will have to shaping them up. But those that are coming in now, they will have to tell them, if you are not 5'6", you are not going into the police. If you are not, you know, they will set some parameters for them. You know, there will be some requirements. And then they will train them how to approach members of the public. Because if you tell me park already, I'm on the edge.
Yeah.
So I'm also human. I can also misbehave. So, but the way you approach me will tell me how I'm going to be receptive to you. So that one will go a long way.
Yeah.
So the police themselves, they have to set out teams to be watching all those things.
Yeah, because I was going to ask that he's in Abuja.
Yeah.
And how easy would it be for Tunji Disu as the IGP to take into cognizance all of these things that we're talking about? Since we have 36 states, we have 36 formations. And so how do we ensure that there's that uniformity? The police you see in Abuja should be the police you see in Lagos.
Absolutely.
Or do we again need to go back to issues where it doesn't matter? You can see a police in Abuja, it doesn't have to be the same police that you see in Lagos. So why is it the Nigeria Police Force? So
we're now saying, it has to go from top to bottom. So when the man at the top is disciplined, it will help to enforce discipline down the line. So this is one thing that I expect to change, because the commissioners of police in all the states, they are like lords. And you know what they say, that when you see some kind of impunity, don't mind them. They are going to report to the IG. So when you hear that, maybe true, when you hear that, how can the man at the top now discipline the commissioner of police? So first, you have to be disciplined yourself. Because if a snake loses its capacity to bite, even the market woman will use it to tie firewood. So you have to be strong. You cannot be a chief in the land of the eagle and not be able to pick a chicken. So as the head of the police, you have to be disciplined in order to maintain discipline within the lower rank.
So discipline is key.
Discipline is key. It's key to them.
Okay.
So,
beyond raising the bar in terms of public perception and their appearance, let's talk about motivation.
Yeah.
Their pay, and some of them are staying in barracks. What is the quality of their accommodation? And are there possibilities that these might also affect their reasoning and their psychology and the way and manner with which they relate with members of the public?
Absolutely, it does. It does. That's why we began with the police colleges, because that's where they come from. And when they come from there, so it now boils down to welfare. That's why I said the police they require funding. I mean, you can't go to a police station to report a crime, and the man will tell you, you get car. You understand?
You go buy fuel.
You go buy fuel. All those kind of things. Buy paper so that you can make your statement.
Sometimes when you go there, there's no power supply.
Well, that's common for many people in Nigeria. They won't have power supply.
That one is not peculiar to them.
So it also boils down to funding. That's why I said the citizens will get the kind of police they deserve, because a well-funded police force. will be proud, will wear the uniform with pride.
Yeah.
When you approach him, the policeman, you won't think of giving him 20 naira or 100 naira because you don't perceive him as poor or needy.
When they stop buying the uniforms.
Yeah, that's another thing. So they need to be kitted. So these are the things they need money for. They need money for equipment. They need money for tools. They need operational expenses. You know, because when you come to the police, they want to buy something quickly.
Yeah.
How will they do it? They'll say, go do checkpoints, Jerry. You could get that
to raise money.
So when you go to the checkpoints, you want to raise money. What do we do? Because the primary aim is to bring in money for certain things. Alga, we dey here. How now? Find something for boys now.
Yeah.
So even if that guy is a criminal, he's happy to give you
Right.
and go his way because you are not doing your own primary assignments. So these are the things. It affects the whole spectrum of policing when they are not funded. The welfare, the way they dress. Because when you dress well, sometimes you wear the correct boots, you wear everything that is good, and you look neat. Even you won't want anybody to deride you.
Yeah.
You will look at I mean, when somebody talks to you, say, "Are you okay?" Do you look at me and say, "You want to do this?"
Right.
So you will have pride in yourself. So that's also part of the things that they should look at. That's why I said he was now liaised with the commander-in-chief and says, look, there is no way we can have good policing
Without funding. Right.
So they have to create a kind of fund, like the trust fund
In Lagos.
in Lagos and in some other states now. Because people will be willing to donate to it when they see that you are using it for this and the situation is getting improved. If the situation starts improving, people will look at it and say, okay, maybe this is what has been lacking. Even I, with my Torokobo, I will give
support.
I will support.
Yeah.
I'll give a percentage of it.
Okay.
But when I don't see changes, I don't see that the will is there. I mean, we have seen exemplary policemen. We have seen how one of the guys, I remember, I don't know his rank, one Balogun guy, when they posted him to Kwanzi, it changed the whole face of Kwanzi. He even brought in people to put in civil engineering structures there. He built offices without government funds because he was able to engage the community.
Right.
And they saw that he was sincere. When they saw the sincerity, they helped.
Supported.
Everybody supported.
Right.
So those kind of things, they have to show sincerity first.
Okay. Let's
Before the government will now say, although the people will now say, okay,
We
let
would
us
also
do it.
support you.
Exactly.
Right. Let's look at also, there's no doubt that the way the Nigeria Police Force is at the moment, they are overstretched.
Oh, yes.
There is no doubt
Oh, yes.
about that. And looking at the myriads of security challenges that Nigeria is currently facing, oftentimes a lot of people often forget that the Nigeria Police even exists.
Yeah,
And so they will
absolutely.
always call on the military
Yeah,
first
absolutely.
when things like that happen. But ordinarily, the police should also be part of those that should take full
Internal
charge,
security.
especially at the grassroots level. So, as overstretched as the Nigerian police is at the moment, let's also look at how we can improve on our intelligence gathering. And we know that Tunji Disu also has a panache for intelligence gathering. So let's look at how the police can also go back to those responsibilities that they were known for in days past, where of course they lived amongst the people, they were closest to the people, and they gathered information and used those information for the issues of community policing.
Absolutely.
So let's look at how the police can go back and begin to improve on their intelligence gathering towards helping Nigeria overcome some of our security challenges.
Okay, so that's one thing that the barrack system has deprived us of, because you have now ensconced yourself in a particular place and you are interacting with yourself.
Just yourselves.
And you don't know what is happening within the larger society, within the communities. So I know many of our guys, live within the community. So the policemen, they go out, even as they are living in the barracks, they also go out, they go to joints. The one in barracks will go to Ayilara to go and eat. Another one will go to Akinyemi to eat amala. All those kind of things, they happen. They actually know what is happening within the
community.
Yeah, because they interact. I know that they interact. So it is not for want of intelligence that is hampering them. It is how to put it into action. And how to put it into action also stems from the fact that as a policeman, you are contented with what you have. Your welfare has been taken care of. Because even if you detect a crime going on somewhere, if somebody now says, that guy is a drug courier in the area, and he knows the person, the first thing that comes to his head.
Like, what if they come back to attack my family?
No, apart from that one, he will look at the guy and say,
what will I get from him?
How will I extort this guy to make some money? Because he's also thinking of himself first, survivor. So crime fighting now becomes secondary because he's thinking of his own welfare. That's why we said everything must revolve
around funding.
Everything revolves around funding. If you can't fund it, just forget it. Let's just be going the way we are going. We won't get there, but we'll get by. That's the way we have been doing it. But if we want a change, if we want to tell Tunji Disu, change the whole environment, then we have to also listen to him and say, okay, we have to provide the wherewithal for him to work. Because if you don't provide the wherewithal for him to work, don't expect
business as usual.
It's business as usual. This one will go, another one will come. But if we decide that we are going to change things, we want things changed. Because now we are now talking of state police, and it's also coming. So because they will take a cue from the federal police. Because many of the states cannot fund the police formations. They can't. You will even, most of the governors that are shouting today that they want state police, when the time comes, you will see, they'll be postponing it. Because it's capital intensive. So what most of them will do is say, okay, let us do whatever we can. Let's form a police force, a so-called police force of 500 people. And they'll be using the 500 people to attack their political opponents. And that will be their own primary purpose. So it goes beyond politics. And Tunji Disu, it will soon be distracted by political activities.
Election is coming.
So most of the things will now be you see all the governors dragging him. This one dragging him, the president dragging him, the chief security officer, all of them, they'll be pulling him. That's why he won't have time for so many things. So unfortunately, he is now the IG, and he has at a period where there are many challenges. There are many challenges because, as you said, many people have forgotten that we even have a police that should do crime fighting. Right. We're no longer fighting crime. When there is crime, we now, especially all those high crimes, terrorism and stuff, we don't think it's the work of the police now. It's now the work of the military.
Yes.
So they look at it's because the police have failed in that aspect. And it is not by their own making. They don't have the wherewithal
to
fight.
Okay.
They don't.
Yeah, in this age and time of technology, how much of investment should we put into technology in fighting crime? Because if we are barely providing vehicles or rifles for them to fight crime, crime has gone from manual to technology-based crime being committed everywhere now. So, but we have not seen much of investment in technology when it comes to fighting crime in this country. Although Mr. President did promise him that you have my ears and I'll support you. So how much of this can we take to the bank then? How much of investment should we put into technology if indeed we want this man to succeed?
You see, technology is good, and most of the states are providing certain things that is required for police to work. Police, they don't need too much high-tech stuff. What they require, CCTV in strategic places. In fact, in the US, let me say the whole US. Let's say in Atlanta now, they have mandated people within a certain neighborhood that you must have CCTV in front of your house. It is given. You must have one looking at this direction, one looking at that direction in your house. So on the street where you have 100 houses, those 100 houses have eyes on the ground. So that when any kind of crime occurs within that area, they only need to approach those living in the neighborhood and say, let's see the CCTV footage of what went. That is how to do it. There was a time I was in Philadelphia and I wanted to pee.
Oh, wow.
And I was looking at all the corners I could do it. I mean, if it was in Lagos, easily, you know.
And you saw cameras there.
Because it's also the culture. And I went to a certain place that I thought was a dark spot. I was looking around. I didn't see anybody. And I just looked up like this, and I saw cameras looking at me. Nobody told me
to just move away. Because even the way you were looking will start looking suspicious.
Exactly. So when I saw those eyes, I said, oh, these people have plenty eyes around here. So I quickly gave myself brain. I said, okay, I will hold it till whenever I could do it. So that's the mentality.
Yeah.
So we should also encourage that kind of community engagement. That look, crimes can occur here, because in the public space, on the streets, on the roads, for instance, we expect government to do that. But in the neighborhoods,
at the community level,
at the community. So that's why you need partnerships, you need community engagement, you need all those kind of things, and those things should come from bottom up.
Okay.
You know, because the IG cannot be coming to every state and be saying this. So that's why there has to be a kind of order that local commissioners of police, those ones too, will go with their DPOs, you know, all those kind of. So we need to start seeing that kind of community engagement. So the police should not just be about trying to spoof the people. It should be about community. When people see things like that happening, they will respond positively. They will. And then we have to look at the criminal justice system too. You know, the police are a real factor there in the criminal justice administration, because you have to, do they have the wherewithal for diligent prosecution of cases? Because when you bring a case and then you have to send it to the DPP, and the DPP says, okay, you can prosecute this. Do you have the wherewithal?
Evidences, gathering, forensics.
Can you be fair in your judgment and say, because when a big man is having a case with a small fry,
the sentiment is already there.
It is there already, because that one will want to compromise you. So do you have the capacity to say no as a policeman? Also, welfare. So we have to look at all those things.
They are all interwoven.
Exactly. All of them are interwoven, and we cannot even do one without doing the other. So if funding is not there, let's just forget it. So what the president should do is that it says he has his ears. So the ears should now produce eyes that will bring out the funding for the police, and you can also mark everything they do. So when the president says, I will support you, it is first and foremost
funding.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It is the
tertiary. I'm glad you went to issues around prosecution, because I actually had that penciled down. But let's also look at constant training, because we've also realized that what you knew yesterday is there's a possibility it could be obsolete today, especially in the days of technology, when new facts emerge every day, new trainings emerge every day, how people deal with criminals also evolve every day. So how important is it also for us to especially have a Nigeria police force that is heavily invested in constant training?
I don't know. It cannot be overemphasized. Training that is effective, that is adequate, that is constant. Because you can't say I've trained them last year. Things are always evolving.
Even crime.
Even crime every day. So they have to be super equipped with training. Because, and the good thing about knowledge, I mean, the training gives you a lot of, widens your horizon.
Right.
And that is one good thing about knowledge. Because sometimes what appears as a mountain to an ant is only a small stone to a human. So some people will look at things and think it's gigantic. But when they break it down for you, you now see that it's not a big deal. That's the kind of knowledge. That's the kind of training that a policeman should undergo. Because when they see cases that even appears intractable, they can
solve them,
exactly,
break it down,
you
and
can
then
break it down. You can decide there and then whether, I mean, because you also have to know the law. You also have to know the law, because everything will be done in accordance with the law.
True.
When you take it to court. So when you look at cases, you look at it and say, okay, this is a mediation matter. It can be solved at the level of the police station. Then you
instead of taking it to court.
Yeah, instead of taking this to court. Then you call the parties together, or you send them to mediation. The Lagos State government has mediation centers. Yeah. So you do all that, but it has to come from a sincere heart. It has to come from someone that is contented. It has to come from someone that is not a beggar. Because sometimes you have to look at all these issues before we begin to pack stones and fruits and call it harvest. There are certain things that you have to look at and say, this one will not be compromised. Okay. So because that is the beginning of the problem. Yeah. If they are easily compromised, then we are done for.
Okay, what are the short-term reforms that you would like to see from the IGP, as well as the long-term ones? And oftentimes when we go to police stations, it's always displayed in the police station.
Bail is free.
Bail is not free.
And
what should you do about this as well?
Everybody knows that bail is not free. So one of those are the low-hanging fruits for the IG. Maintenance of discipline. He has to enforce the discipline, because he's a disciplined man. So he also has to, there must be rewards, and there must be sanctions.
Right.
So he has to use the carrot and stick approach to deal with the issue, because regardless of how your welfare is, if you know you cannot keep up, then go out of the police. It's either you shape in or you ship out. Regardless, if you feel the police is not good enough for you, they are not taking care of your welfare and all that, so don't take the job, just leave it. So the IG has to let them know that, see, you are in the police today, you are feeding your family, most of the time you are housed, You are under a roof that you are not paying for. So you must still be grateful because there are other situations that are worse than yours. So you have to do this job. And if you are not going to do it, I'm going to deal with you.
Yeah.
So that is where he will also start. It's a low-hanging fruit for him. He has to set up teams that will be going around to monitor this kind of things. And if he sees that something, he will let everybody know that I have sanctioned this one.
Yeah, and that will also be a deterrent.
Exactly. It will be a deterrence for others. So we have to start from there before any other. It's a low-hanging fruit for him. Before the issues of funding and the rest, welfare and everything comes in.
Right.
This is because we have immediately you have to gain public trust. Because if you don't gain public trust, it will be difficult for you to move ahead. As I always say, a man remains wise as long as he seeks wisdom.
Yeah.
It is the moment he thinks he has found it that he becomes a fool.
We'll have to leave this conversation here this morning. Thank you so much, Lukemon Owolabi, Public Affairs Analyst, for always finding time to be with us on the conversation.
My pleasure.
We'll take a quick break.